Speaking of fumbles, one would hope that Tampa Bay defeats the Minnesota Vikings tonight if they were happen to watch an NFL game and thinking of pro line. QJ will draw the foul on that one, but you got a couple of chuckles out of the Mill Rats on that one as they were all standing still as he was trying to divide them. So Hugh J at the line. Or they're going to give away more of those Rogers t-shirts here tonight.
Yeah, I'm due for another one of those. My one from last season's just about worn out. Can't get enough of that thing.
That's what.
My car's never been shinier.
The look on the outside to Crouch. And Crouch will go up. That one just missed, but a great burst. And then he'll knock the ball out of the hands of Okalia.
Quincy.
I checked it. We have a little bit of a higher vantage point this year at Harbor Station as we're up on a bit of a riser here in behind the timers table. Wow, nice basket there. Okalia again. And he's going to be rewarded for his efforts and go to the line as well. Great crowd out here tonight. We haven't had official attendance yet, not that I've seen.
No, but it's as big a crowd as I saw all last season. Nice to see the big opening night.
Three grand over or under?
Over. I'm going to go over by
over?
Probably. I'm going to go 3,500.
35? And what's nice to see for preseason action, a lot of the private suites are full this evening as well.
I had the pleasure of catching a St. John hockey game there not long ago. Sorry, I got a little bit lost in the action there.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Those seats are a great vantage point. Contact Harbor Station if you're interested.
Yep.
It was a great little pen to keep my children in, as it was one of their birthdays. We just happened to be lucky enough to get the suite for the night. My kids were able to run around, and I didn't even have to tell them to stop bugging people.
There you go. Yeah. So it was one of your child's birthday, up in a private box. So like no high sugar intake or anything like that, eh?
No, it's funny. I ordered a big thing of chips, a big thing of veggies, and a big thing of cotton candy. And there are lots of veggies left over. Let's just leave it that way.
That was good. At the end of the night, it gave them something to dunk in the cotton candy bowl to get the rest of it out.
Yeah, they were just throwing them into the crowd.
Hey, throwing that one up at the hoop was Robinson. Yeah, I think you're probably pretty close to 3,500. I was like 33, 33 and a half. Some folks up in the Alpine room as well.
I've never seen a game from the Alpine room. Dave, I'm sure you have. What's it like up there in the big roller suite?
From what I can remember, I had a good time.
And there might have been a game behind you.
Could have been. I really didn't ask the security guard when he escorted me out of the building how I did, but I thought I had a good time. Crouch with the miss on the first one. Just under 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Mill Rats trailing by 3. Crouch is good on the second attempt. Back to a 2-point game, and that one goes through a couple of hands there. That was Josiah Turner. He thought left. His teammates went right. Anderson drives into the paint, puts that one up off the glass. ties us back up at 45.
Great upper body strength there from Anthony Anderson to make that adjustment in midair and still find the back of the rim.
You know, since the Millrats have come to St. John, the tattoo business has been booming.
Absolutely it has.
Nice statement from the outside by Tyler Richardson. That one comes up shy out of the hands of Brand. Time for Richardson to bring it out. Brings it across court over to Robinson.
Good defense there, trailing in with Anthony Anderson to knock that ball away from Tyler Richardson, who was making a hard cut to the basket.
Haley now checks in for Halifax. Of course, we want to welcome all those tuned in tonight on the webcast from around town, across the province, and around the world, tuned into National Basketball League of Canada. If you were to take a pin map with some of these players, as PJ Young goes in, he's a determined guy tonight. If you were to take a pin map and start putting the locations of where these players have played around the world and then add some of the coaches in it, this is very much an international league. And hello, Anthony Anderson. Sorry, that was Crouch. You just get so used to seeing Anderson make that move, and that was Crouch. Goes up hand to hand and just rolls that one in. And that's going to be a nice dynamic duo to see here this year. Jarice Crouch and Anthony Anderson leading the charge for the Millrats.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as the season wears on how these teams gel. Antonio Anderson really hasn't displayed half of the skill he has in his arsenal as he's seen limited playing time tonight. Clearly a lock to make the team, so not seeing a lot of action here in the preseason.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to give it all away now. Come on. You're not going to give the other teams a book to start studying on for when they come in here. As we know, obviously the videos are, well, DVDs of course, but the videos of these games are the tools that the coaches use to break down the offense and the defense of a team before going in or having somebody come into your barn. So keep them guessing, just like oil of Olay.
They'll be looking, of course, to see what kind of strategy Coach Coop brings to the Millrats look this year. Of course, in his first season, we've mentioned it already, wears several hats for the team this year, calling the X's and O's for St. John.
I think he popped the popcorn tonight.
I got to watch semi-pro again. I got to catch up on all the various hats that Jackie Moon played for the Michigan Tropics.
Yeah, semi-pro. That's got to be up there when one of those top 5 kind of guys weekends up at the Cottage Movies.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I would have Caddyshack in there, Blues Brothers. Probably put The Hangover in now.
Yep.
Semi-pro. Yeah, that'd be up there. Couple of ones I've watched recently. I forgot how funny the movie Stripes was.
Oh, yes.
Bill Murray and Harold Ramis checking into the military. Boom chaka-laka-laka, boom chaka-laka. And a turnover. There's Crouch to Anderson. That's the new dynamic duo! Just like you draw it up on the chalkboard.
Mid-season feel to the ball movement there from those two gentlemen out in the court to find an easy 2 points for St. John.
Those guys are going to do rock, paper, scissors to figure out who's Batman and who's Robin. And the last one I'd add into that, Animal House.
Anchorman?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can go down the whole list of Will Ferrell movies, I guess.
Talladega Nights. Mm-hmm. Sports classics, really, from Will Ferrell.
Yep.
Clearly an athlete in his own right.
Oh, huge, huge. I went to see Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James the other night.
Oh, yeah?
Not bad, not bad.
And that's all for Siskel and Ebert, folks. Tune in next for Dave DeLine and Jason Perkins with Millrats basketball.
And we're back. DeLuca with the ball over to PJ Young. Young finds Anderson, puts it up from the outside. Comes up a bit short. Digging for the rebound was Curtis. That's going to allow the Raymond to come in here as the Millrats have taken the lead here. Which, unfortunately, the stats table is having an issue with the system here tonight, so we weren't able to draw everything out. But I think that might be the first lead of the night here, or the first lead of the night for the Millrats. They've been pitching from behind for most of this contest.
Yeah, since very early on in the first quarter, I believe they jumped out to a bit of a lead, but since then it's been Halifax with leads ranging from 10 to 12 points. St. John scrapping their way back in there now. And you're right, Dave, with a 3-point lead, that's their biggest lead so far of the game.
Chance to cut into that one from the line. Going over was Darnell Huge. Not sure what the call was on that one, but it'll be an inbound for the Millrats. By the curious faces of the Rainmen, they don't know what the call was either. Digging deep into that one, driving to the hoop was Johnson. And he will be rewarded for his efforts as he steps up to the line. But if you're looking to rent a storage unit in St. John, you should see Mr. Johnson when he's done with those shoes. You want to bid on those contents? Holy cow.
I believe it's already been booked by the old lady and her family.
Yes, yes. There might be a boot for sale somewhere. Johnson from the line. Millrats with a 4-point lead now. 6:51 to go here in your third quarter. Remember, it all gets kicked off for real here at Harbor Station when the St. John Millrats will host the former Quebec Kebs, now playing out of Laval. The Laval Kebs on a Saturday, November 3rd. That is a 7 o'clock broadcast on Rogers TV. And we would like to see you come out and fill Harbor Station and come out for that one in support of the National Basketball League of Canada, because a pretty safe bet you're not going to sit at home and watch a hockey game on TV.
No, it's not looking
Not
good.
much going on there.
Today, of course, being the deadline for a deal, and both sides not either offering or accepting anything other than the offer that was already left on the table by the NHL.
Yep, that was for the full 82-game schedule. So the cuts will now begin. Raymond bring this in within 2. Crouch. Bounce pass off to DeLuca. DeLuca gave way to Johnson. Millrats unable to connect, but DeLuca will go to the line.
Other big basketball news, not really one of the best kept secrets, is that David Stern will be announced his retirement in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
He'll make it to February of 2014 after 30 years as commissioner of the NBA.
Seems that way, eh?
I think they should rename commissioner to something else. Say dictator, perhaps.
Oh, come on. So you think the NBA is not in a better place today than it was before David Stern got there?
Absolutely, but with a 30-year reign, wow, he's really got his fingerprints all over that league. And, you know, he's been fantastic for the league. It's the growth since the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson days, back when games were shown on tape delay.
I think he's officially going to change his first name to Fidel.
Well, he probably needs he needs to go into retirement so he can count his money.
Yeah. Yeah. And so can all the NBA owners and players, and thank him for where he's brought that league. Obviously, you know, as a team effort, but solid franchises, incredible television deals, and really the one true league based out of North America that is really making international roots.
Absolutely.
So, and now we hear rumors that not rumors, Jacksonville Jaguars are going to play 2 home games out of London coming up next season as Anderson goes in and drops that one. St. John keeps pecking away at this lead, then took the lead, and now trying to build on it.
Ooh. As
Anderson is going to get the call on that one. And
J.P. Richard with the call there. Charge. Darren Duncan, outstanding defensive effort, not to take anything away from the former St. John Mill Rat, but clearly he did not have his feet set. Contact, in the opinion of the referee, initiated by Anthony Anderson. But at this level of play, that's a no call, Dave.
56-52 your score. Big shot from the outside. Eddie Smith.
Just like that, a 4-point turnaround. Halifax finds themselves only down 2.
Eddie Smith, 6'4", 195 pounds. Hails from Springfield, Illinois.
Home of the Simpsons.
Springfield, but no official state has ever been declared on that show, of course. Little attention being drawn the way to Foreman George, the mascot. Makes a great sandwich in that grill of his, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got to tell you. Sorry, a panini. All right, so Smith will now go to the line. Halifax trailing by 2. Halifax still trailing by 2. And drops the second one in. So pretty safe bet. We're not going to see either team into triple digits tonight. This is going to be something that finishes off in that high 70s, maybe low 80s. This is a nice one-hander there.
It's impressive to see the level of defense we're seeing out there. You know, it's not a lack of offense or a lack of effort from either team. It's just tight defense. Great teamwork, the Halifax Rainmen. Good length from St. John on their side of the court, and it's just challenging to get a basket out there.
Smith good on the first one. And just as accurate on the second one. Loose ball spread out, going the long way was Eddie Smith, and just like that, the Rainmen now have taken back a 1-point lead here tonight at Harbor Station. Burks found Johnson on the outside. He tries to underhand that one in. Misses, but gets a little bit of help from Curtis. Halifax stretches the court. Catching the Mill Rats, napping a little bit on that one, and Haley takes it all the way down. Anderson back in the game. A little more intensity now out there on both sides. Antonio Burks finds Crouch.
Anthony Anderson and Jerice Crouch both getting away with a little bit of off-arm offensive spacing, let's call it, from a technical standpoint. Halifax growing frustrated on the referees, looking for the call. Crouch, though, in that situation, call went his way, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Three and a half to go. 62-61 your score. Mill Rats chipping back into this one. And now we got ourselves a bit of a shootout here going back and forth. As soon as I declared it would be a low-scoring final. Not quite last shot wins yet, but Crouch tried to lead that pass into Curtis, couldn't get a handle on it, so now the Raymond will bring it up. Haley just misses. Anderson now powers his way down the court.
You saw it there again. Anderson using that off arm to create some space for himself. Frustration from the defender. He gets a little too tight. J.P. Richard thought it was a little too much contact. And Anthony Anderson finds himself at the line for an easy couple shots. Let's see how he does.
Anderson now steps up, drops it down. You know, as of course we were mentioning earlier where we'd like to see football go. If I was a baseball fan tonight and happened to be wagering on a game on a Pro Line ticket, come on, San Francisco.
Halifax now probing the Mill Rats defense. Looking to get back in the lead in the seesaw battle now, 63-64 in favor of the home side.
Nice one-hander there that just rolls off the rim by Haley. That ball finds the St. John Harbor Station staff there as they took one for the team.
Ball last touched by St. John. Halifax will inbounds. Off the foot of Crouch.
Loose ball, scramble for it. Bit of a rugby scrum there, and Robert Curtis took one. 6'10", 245 pounds. The only thing I would say to that guy after I hit him was sorry, sir.
No doubt about that. Checking in now is number 42, Modibo Jara. Of course, that great story as the St. John community reached out across several continents, brought him across the water, him and his entire family. Great effort.
Great several what?
Continents. I learned stuff. I paid attention in school.
All right, yeah, boy.
An ocean, I think. There might have been an ocean in there.
Yeah, could be.
Jara appears to be in great shape. We talked earlier in the broadcast about some injuries he's faced over the years. Knees, back, typical for a man of his size.
And possibly of his age. Halifax now, down by 3. Just under 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Great defense there from Anthony Anderson. Strong effort on the ball denial and then got the hand on the shot.
St. John forcing them to take the outside shot. Darren Duncan absolutely divides the defense and goes in. We've seen a lot of that, but last time he was wearing a white jersey doing it.
Yeah, shooting the other way last season and doing a great job of it. Nice to see him pick up in Halifax.
Could possibly like the nightlife better there as well.
Yep.
PJ Young tried to tap that one in. Although my last experience in Halifax, quite disappointing from a hospitality standpoint. We'll leave it at that.
It's an interesting town.
Yep. So we can hear Cliff Levingston, the coach of the Halifax Raymond there, two-time NBA world champion with the Chicago Bulls. Also have won titles as a coach in numerous leagues in both Europe and in North America. And as we found out, one of the few players in the NBA that's fouled into a game.
Yeah, that's an interesting statistic to have.
Yep. We'll share that one maybe with our viewers and listeners a little bit later in the year, but foul into a game. Kind of like I fell into a keg of beer.
Yeah, that seems to happen from time to time, doesn't it?
Jace. Minute 23 to go here in the third quarter, 68-65. Your score, the Mill Rats with the lead. Duncan up at the line. As we hear from the Millrats PA announcer there, Double D. Of course, that's what Darren Duncan went by last year. As he came in here and really.
That's what you meant when you said that. All season I wondered who he's talking about.
Yeah, nice shot. Yeah, well, all I know is that's not what you usually think when I mention Double D's. Because that's my initials, right? That's what I mean. Right?
That's right.
Absolutely. Duncan now will go up the court, 70-66. The Millrats trying to build on this lead. Boys, Mike Anderson goes on that like a fat kid on a Snickers bar, but that's not going to work for him. As the hometown faithful will let that be known. What looked like a great defensive, aggressive play by Mike Anderson puts Duncan to the line. And once again, we see the Millrats with the familiar Rogers logo on front and back of their jerseys. The official broadcast partner of the St. John Millrats. You know, I got to make sure my blazer from last season fits.
I didn't want to bring that up, Dave,
yeah.
But I'm sure Linda will look after you.
Extra 25, maybe?
See, my wife doesn't need her maternity pants anymore, so what I did was I took the stretchy waistband out and just put it in the sides of my jacket, and I'm all set.
Yeah. Stretch band is the best invention that's ever been made into a pair of pants since the zipper.
I've got a matching outfit like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man at the end of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's all I could think of. There's another one you could put in there.
Oh, yes.
With the rebound. A lot of Second City and Saturday Night Live kind of premise to a lot of those old movies that we've been calling around here tonight. Duncan takes a bit of a forearm shiver there on that one. Threw the head back with no call. We might have to have movie quote night, same as we had our infamous Michael Jackson night.
Yes, infamous indeed.
Yeah. Oh! Ho, ho, ho. Duncan. That one. Wow. Looked like he was breakdancing there for a minute.
Yeah, I think he was trying to draw contact there. That sort of thing will get you a technical foul in the NBA this year.
Apparently.
That's the old flopperoo rule.
Yeah. And that and high-fiving somebody before the tip-off. 6 seconds to go. Crouch looks up, digs, throws it out to P.J. Young. And he gets the ball stripped out of his hand. Doesn't seem to be a call there, so we will head to the fourth quarter with a tight matchup here from Harbor Station. The Millrats 70, the Rainman 68. As the Millrats dancers come onto the floor, Jason and I will take a quick break and be back to bring you fourth quarter action. You're watching the National Basketball League of Canada. And we're back here, folks. Fourth quarter action. So 12 minutes to go. 2 points your difference. Rainman and Millrats. It's 4 degrees Celsius outside with a wind from the southwest. Anderson watching Smith. Strong defensive play there by Anderson. Loose ball. Halifax throws it up from the outside with 3 seconds on the shot clock on that one, and that qualifies as our first air ball of the night.
There's a little sound effect for you there.
Thank you. Oh, oh, I thought there was something else. DeLuca outside to Anderson. Drives, nice little spin. Gets blocked on that one. There's a fast break going the other direction. Catching up to that ball was Haley. Now Duncan sets it up. Rainman worked this one into the paint. In, out, back around the outside. Haley has it again. 3 seconds to go on the shot clock. He'll throw that one up. Halifax suffering from the outside here in the second half. As Crouch will bring it up for the Millrats. DeLuca gets open, then gives to Anderson. Nice little move there by Anderson outside to DeLuca. Oh, just can't get that one to drop. Some nice hands there by Mike Anderson to get open and then get the ball back into Steve DeLuca's hands. Duncan now to Smith. Again there, Mike Anderson with some strong defense. Now that the referee fetches the ball, kind of hard to sneak a basketball out underneath your jacket.
Yeah, they frown on that.
Yeah. And, of course, you noticed right off the bat tonight they've gone to a new ball this year.
Looks like the Spalding T1000, Dave. Last year they used that international ball. Previous to that, they had the wave ball back in the PBL days.
Well, I've always said nobody knows balls like Jason.
I'm just going to let you suffer through your giggles on that one, David.
Anderson over to Young.
Yeah,
back to Anderson, over to Crouch.
Over the course of my basketball playing days, I've had my hands on all kinds of those.
I absolutely know that. And that's why they leave towels in the shower. DeLuca over to Mike Anderson now. A couple of misses at both ends here, but we were all knotted up at 70 apiece. 9.5 to go. P.J. Young sets it up from the outside. Strong rebound there by Nelson. He'll give away to Duncan. I see on the back of the Millrats Dancers uniforms, Investors Group's their sponsor this year.
It's amazing you can spot that from here. That font's awfully small.
It's a great way to spend your money. Duncan having some words with his coach there, both of them having some fun. Nelson steps up at the line. Millrats now trailing by 1. And trailing by 2. Of course, folks, you want to get caught up on what's going on here tonight? Just get a hold of Jason on Twitter. That's Jason Perkins 44, right?
At Jason Perkins.
Sorry, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, I still say www when I give out a website, so I'm kind of old school on that. Sorry. All that interweb stuff.
Yeah, those crazy kids with their iPads and whatnot.
Yeah. What was that web show?
The web show.
Yeah, never mind. Web Dreams.
Oh, yes. You're one letter off.
Crouch to Young. Oh, ho, ho! From downtown, P.J. Young.
P.J. Young showing that range from the outside.
Knots it all back up at 72 apiece. That one off.
Looks like off the hands of Jara there.
Yeah.
But great interior defense there from the Mill Rats. PJ Young on the help with DeLuca. Now watch out, folks. Anthony Anderson now checking in with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Let's see if he can take things over on the offensive end. We see Foreman George walking by, looking like he's still been maintaining that fitness regimen of his.
Yeah, apparently he works out with Lance Armstrong.
Oh, too soon.
Really?
A little too soon.
You think so?
Yeah,
okay.
maybe
All
good
right.
a week, mid-season.
All right. I trust you. Crouch will now bring it up over the half court. 8 minutes to go.
No Ann Coulter jokes either.
Anderson drives it into the paint, pops it up, and brings it down.
Right on cue is Anthony Anderson looking to extend that lead now as St. John finds himself up by a pair, 74-72. Just under 8 minutes to go here in the game.
Anderson, John with Coach Livingston of Halifax as he came up the court on that one. Anderson, one of the players in the NBL of Canada that can back it up. As you mentioned, his injury probably cost him the league MVP last year. Oh, nice play. Gives it out to PJ Young. And that's how you finish it, folks. Just like that.
PJ Young playing as good a basketball as we've seen him play here for St. John, showing his versatility. The man can do a little bit of everything. Handles the ball well, rebounds well, flies to the hoop well, plays defense. He's just that type of utility player that you need on every roster. Everyone tumbling down like bowling pins there as Madibo Jara had the view from the floor.
Crouch will now bring it up. Gives it to Jara. Strong defense on Jara. Nowhere to go. Hands all over the place. Throws it up. Can't get it to come down. And this is very much. Whoa, there's some hang time. Nelson goes up. And the backboard almost came down.
That's the third two-handed power dunk we've seen from Nelson. Good ability to get off the floor for a big man.
Only power dunk I've ever done is a French cooler and a double-double. Nice play by P.J. Young.
Huge stretch arm rebound there for Young. That'll be St. John ball.
Yeah, Nelson just takes the sure thing and just knocks that one out of bounds. As we've got a timeout now called on the Millrat side. Trying to get Ian McCarthy's attention over there, see if we can get the attendance on tonight's game as he's sitting in the bench in there behind us. Usually he emails it to us, but I'm not sure if you've received anything from him.
Not as of yet, but let me check my sources.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was just going to start counting seats. More T-shirts going up into the crowd now here at Harbor Station. Good time to stretch our legs. Timeout on the court.
Never know, you might pick one off here as it flies overhead.
Yeah. You have a microphone, Jason. You can actually speak to it. So 3,200, the official attendance here tonight at Harbor Station. So we were pretty close to being able to figure that one out.
And what was mine? I was over 35.
You were over 35.
Yeah,
I was taking the under. But I'm also taking the tie between Clemson and Lake Forest. No, sorry, I took Clemson.
Just received a tweet here from Steve Yankopoulos. Let's see what he has to say. Yo, Jay, keep it up. No one knows balls like you do. Ha ha. Very good, guys. Love the exciting voice.
There you go. Of course, Steve Yankopoulos, one of the owners here of the St. John Millrats. and their biggest fan.
Absolutely. Big fan, part owner, all-around great guy. Can't wait to see him back up here. Hello, Steve. I know you're paying close attention to this game tonight, and we'll see you up here for some regular season matchups. Can't wait to get you back up in Canada, buddy.
And watch your balls. They're hooping and hollering, getting the crowd going here. Raymond up by a deuce. We'll for sure get Steve on one of our future Rogers TV broadcasts. I'd like to see him wear a bow tie. He looked good in a bow tie.
Yeah, a little.
He can pull it off.
He's got that look.
Yeah, he can pull it off. He's got that class. He can pull that off.
Maybe borrow one of Bruce Bowen's bow ties.
PJ Young. It would be great to have the stat sheet working here tonight to see where Young is and Anderson, but PJ Young absolutely a force to be reckoned out here tonight.
PJ Young, no doubt due for a breakout season here now, having played for St. John from back in the PBL days down in New Hampshire. Of course, this team originally hailing from Manchester. Seems like so long ago now.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, a little bit of an issue going on in Quebec this year where the ownership group was changed basically at the hand of the league. But that was to make sure the franchise stayed stable in Quebec. Nice shot from the outside there from Robinson. But the team getting secured into Laval. We've seen it work in the Canadian Football League with the Alouettes going into that community. Quebec City, a tough team, a tough city to compete in at the hockey level. You look at the Quebec Ramparts of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League that traditionally draw 10,000 fans to those games. But strong and secure, hopefully, ownership now in Laval. We know on the East Coast, Moncton, Summerside, and Halifax and St. John all strong. There's a loose ball. Not sure where they're going to actually call this one. And that's going to go against the Mill Rats. And seeing a lot more news of the NBL of Canada and the mainstream medias. Stories picked up by national papers. More on some of the sports channels and sports updates and all that. And we're proud to say we've been here since day one.
Absolutely.
They can't get rid of us.
Like barnacles on a boat we are.
Yep. Should see a doctor about those barnacles. Crouch! Oh, a little heavy-handed that one. Steve DeLuca takes a swipe at it. Gets nothing but arm on Robinson.
Those backcourt fouls, of course, Steve showing frustration, knows that was a mistake at this juncture of the game. But great to see him remaining aggressive. Steve looks great. Looks like he's down a few pounds here coming into the third season here for St. John.
Yep, marriage will do that to a man.
It had the opposite effect on me, Dave.
Yeah. Nice shot there. And just like that, a 7-point swing the other direction now in favor of the Rainmen.
Eddie Smith with the little baby hook there. St. John coming the other way. Finds Crouch on the end.
Oh, baby! St. John fans are not going to get bored watching that this season. 5 points your swing now. 3.5 to go. Preseason action here from Harbor Station. Don't tell these guys that this is all still a tune-up. Both sides taking it very serious. A phantom foul possibly there. You know, when the Millrats still having Anderson in the game, the Brand in the game, and Crouch, and how could you couldn't even think about taking P.J. Young out right now.
No, not the way he's playing.
Yeah. DeLuca now will sit down, but with that, the Millrats will call a timeout with 3:25 to go. We're going to take a quick break here. Rainman 85, Millrats 80. You're watching the National Basketball League of Canada live from Harbour Station. All right, folks, back at it here. The crowd staying in this one till the end. Oh, Duncan gets a little bit of help there from the rim. So a chance now to go up by 7. And no luck, so it'll stay at 6. The Millrats have their work cut out for them. Crouch has Anderson, Brand, Burks, and P.J. Young.
Former backcourt partners there, Anthony Anderson and Darren Duncan going at it hard.
Duncan having a word with the official there as the tallest ball boy in the game gets in there and cleans up the floor. Anderson makes the first one count. And you know what? I know this is preseason and you know, does not make a difference at the end of the day. Anthony Anderson's got that look of him right now that we've seen before, is grab on, guys. I'm taking this one.
Yeah, he's going to throw the team on his back right now. Only down 4, certainly within striking distance for the offensive firepower that's out there. Antonio Burks, of course, can light it up. Jarice Crouch has had a great game so far. P.J. Young, fantastic game.
5 seconds to go on the shot clock. Nelson just has to pop that one in. Stretches it to 6 points again. There's Anderson. Outside to Crouch. Numerous weapons here on this Millrats roster this season. Duncan barking out commands, leading the offense here for the Rainmen. Geez, I looked to the left. I thought it was an eclipse. It was just Coach Livingston standing up there. Oh. Geez, he's a big man. You need shoulders like that to carry championship rings.
That's right.
P.J. Young takes the nice bounce pass. Nice little soft touch off the rim or off the glass to make this a 6-point game again, and we'll go to the line. Jaronell will come in for Brand. Maybe when Mr. Yankopoulos comes up to St. John, we could have some frosty beverages with him.
Yeah.
That would be a good idea.
Be nice to
stay well hydrated. Yes.
Yeah. Just make sure our voices are supple and flowing.
Absolutely.
Like the purr of a wolverine.
The bark of a badger. Duncan, watched by Crouch. Now he'll spin off. P.J. Young picks up the defensive assignment. Halifax moves it in. Trying to get into the paint, but denied. Throwing it from the outside, and there's Anderson with the rebound. Minute 40 to go. 5-year difference. Anderson only goes around 4 guys. Dishes it out to P.J. Young, and he puts it in. Young from Anderson. Get used to hearing that call this year, folks. Halifax now looking probably to stretch out the clock a little bit on this one, as it is now a 1-possession game. Duncan misses from the outside. There's P.J. Young. Up court to Crouch. Crouch, oh! Drops the shoulder into Duncan.
Duncan was, let's take another look at that. Appeared to be well within the restricted area at the point of contact. He got his feet down.
Yeah, just at the last minute there.
St. John fans, of course, letting Danny Patterson hear it for that call, but
looked good on the big screen.
Yeah, Johnny on the spot there. Darren Duncan got that right foot down just in time. That's a great call.
So we take another look on it on the big screen. Yeah, feet were down. Upper body was still in motion, but good call. Chance now for Halifax. Run some time off the clock with 10 on the shot clock. Less than a minute to go here. Nelson just gets his hands on it. Knocks that one off the back of the rim. He got too deep in behind the hoop, but draws the foul.
That charge call, for those of you watching at home, is a direct result of the lobbying of Darren Duncan to Danny Patterson. Not to say it wasn't a close call and couldn't have gone either way, but certainly with some of the forearm shivers that he's had at the hands of Anthony Anderson, frustration, Darren Duncan expressing that towards the referees, and in that situation gets the call late in the fourth quarter.
Nelson, good for a pair. And with that, Coach David Cooper and staff will call a timeout to regroup here on the sidelines with 52.2 seconds to go. Remember, folks, it all starts for real at Harbor Station Saturday, November 3rd, when the Laval Kebs invade the friendly confines that will be not so friendly on that night. If it's any indication of the crowd that's here tonight, should be a great opportunity for the folks to get out here and cheer the Mill Rats on for real to start the season.
Dave, if there's one team I'd like to see St. John beat, it's the Kebs. I know I'm supposed to be impartial, but I just love to see the Kebs come in here and walk out with their heads hanging low.
Yep. A win is a win, but some are sweeter than others.
Absolutely. Speaking of sweet, the St. John Mill Rats dance team revving the crowd up here. Under a minute to go, the noise meter in full effect, hitting 140 decibels here at Harbor Station. The basketball IQ of the St. John crowd now at an all-time high. We talked about that at the beginning of the, on the outset of the Mill Rats' initial broadcast and foray here into the St. John market, was how this hockey crowd was going to react. And you know, Dave, fantastic. They're booing the free throws. They're cheering at the right times.
And you know what, folks? $7 buys you a ticket to a Mill Rats game. $7. You can't get into a movie for that price. And don't even get me going on the price of popcorn and pop at a movie. $7 for the real Mill Rats section 12 and 13 upper bowl. $10 for the youth bowl, 14 and under. Students and seniors, $13, $16 for the adult bowl coming down into the bottom section. And you can get right on the floor for $50. Crouch finds the outside, puts it down. Mill Rats close within 3. 43 seconds to go on the clock.
Outstanding play call and execution there by David Cooper, and that's what this team needs. Good drawn-up play there coming out of the timeout to score a basket. St. John now finding it tight.
Duncan for 3 from the outside, and the miss. Oh, great rebound there coming underneath it. Loose ball was Joel Smith. Modibo Jara wrestling it from Darren Duncan.
Jara with the effort. Duncan, former teammates exchanging words. Looked like Jara might have taken a finger or elbow to the eye.
Yeah, he's cut on that one. So we got a timeout by the Mill Rats. Modibo Jara. Kathy Simon will look after him in a minute here as he'll get some first aid. Blood, sweat, and tears, folks. The St. John Mill Rats will bring it all this season. 21 seconds to go. Fighting for that one was Jara, like it was the last game of the championship, and this is just the preseason.
Yeah, scrappy Mill Rats lineup out there today. They're playing hard for Coach Cooper in his coaching debut here under the roof of Arbor Station. Fantastic effort all game long. Right now, I'd have to say by a mile, PJ Young, the player of the game, to keep St. John in it. Outstanding efforts also from Jerice Crouch.
So the Mill Rats open up on the road against Summerside on November 2nd, and then they come back home to take on Laval on the 3rd. That a Rogers TV broadcast at 7 o'clock. And then they do the Atlantic Tour. Their next 3 games are on the road against Summerside, Halifax, and then Moncton. So 4 out of the first 5 games of the season on the road. But luckily for the Mill Rats, they're staying on the eastern side, so nothing more than about a 4-hour drive to Halifax. Moncton and Summerside basically drive in, drive out. Depending on the schedule in Halifax, the team will either stay overnight or make the trip back here. All right, folks, 21.2 to go.
Now watching this situation for Antonio Burks to lay back after the inbounds play. Look for Halifax to sag off of him and watch him be wide open for the three-point play. Karnak predicting what's going to happen here in the next minute. Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, well, if you're that good, tell me what's going to go on with the Clemson game tonight. Crouch loses the ball. We'll bring it up over the half court. Loses it, goes out of bounds. Just lost the handle on that one. Huge turnover here, chance for Halifax. So now look for the quick foul. There it is. Geez, the facial expression of Eddie Smith on that one was like he was shot.
You got to sell the foul. Just make sure that that call goes your way.
Serious. 12.2 now, so the task just got taller here for the Mill Rats. And that one hurts. Now becomes a 2-score game. All right, folks. Here we go. Anderson brings it up over the half court. Quickly to Burks from the outside. Oh! Off the iron. The ball will come back down, and that will do it. But not for a lack of effort on the hometown side. Your final, the Halifax Rainmen 94, the St. John Mill Rats 89. But an absolute entertaining affair. And if this is what preseason is, I can't wait till we get this thing going for real.
Yeah, great basketball out there tonight from both sides. The home team falling just a little bit short tonight, but great effort. PJ Young, by far our player of the game. Wish we could relay the stats to you folks, but we'll get those up on the St. John Mill Rats Facebook page later on, just so you can bask in the glory of the game he put on tonight. But in the end, Halifax and Coach Cliff Livingston walking out of here with the victory tonight.